I certainly first have to say that I consider myself to be secular. I certainly don't think burkas are something that I'm comfortable with. When I see women in them with their faces almost entirely covered, it's a sort of hard, in a culture which is a open culture in which faces are uncovered, it's very hard to deal with. On the other hand, it seems to me that you can't separate the French desire to ban this from a kind of underlying racism about Arabs and Muslims, former colonials from North Africa and West Africa. And there's just no way to separate them. And so on the grounds of the fact that this constitutes a form of discrimination and a failure to actually consult with the people who are wearing them and to find out what indeed is involved in the choice on the part of some women, the influence of others on them to wear these things, it seems to me really inadvisable as a law, and will only be taken by minority populations as yet another strike against them. And if anything, it will increase the numbers of people who are wearing these rather than do away with them. So as a policy issue in countries in which Muslims are a minority population in general, and in France in particular, I think it's a really bad idea to ban these things. I think that certainly wearing a headscarf is a different thing from wearing a burqa, actually. But in either case, there is at least in part the notion that you have to cover women to prevent the sort of sexual temptation of men that they represent. But there are other, it seems to me Muslims are not alone in this. Orthodox Jews, women have to cover their heads and wear long sleeves, and there's all kinds of dress requirements for Orthodox Jewish women that also indicate their inferiority. But I think no one would dare talk about, post-Holocaust, no one would dare talk about or would have a very difficult time trying to ban certain of the behaviors of Orthodox Jews. It would be considered an illegitimate interference in religious practice. Catholics, Catholic nuns certainly still have to cover their heads. I mean, there's all sorts of religious practices in which the inequality of women and men are manifest in behavior and clothing and the rest of it. It seems to me a terrible mistake to single out Muslims at a time of clash of civilizations, in countries in which there's a tremendous amount of class and other kinds of economic and political discrimination against them. It doesn't seem to me to be wise policy at all.